boobs
Wait, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I didn't have, it wasn't recording.
Good, because I already fixed my boobs once.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
Sun is coming up, are you ready to go? We can take a ride, we can take it slow, yo.
Welcome back to the Road to Self-Love. It's your boy, Paul Fishman, self-love coach and you do you activist, here to just grace you with the goddess that is Carmen Rene at Eat the Cake 2. She is a body positivity advocate, like an advocate for lymphedema and so many other amazing things, and I cannot wait to have this conversation with her. But I would love for her to introduce herself. So please, Carmen, just like tell us who you are, why you're on this planet, and all those things.
Oh my gosh. First of all, I'm so excited to be here. I've been looking forward to this since you asked me, so thank you.
Same. You're welcome.
Yes, so I'm Carmen Rene, aka Eat the Cake 2, and I am exactly what Paul described me as, #1 lymphedema warrior. Basically, just encouraging everybody to use what makes you different to just love yourself even more. And
Hold on. I want to know what lymphedema is for everyone who doesn't know.
So lymphedema is a damaged lymphatic system. So you see it most actually in breast cancer patients because after they get radiation, your key lymph node is, one of them's here, right behind your shoulder and right behind your legs, basically. So a lot of breast cancer patients will get lymphedema in their arm. For me, my doctors think that I was born without some of my lymph nodes. So it affects both my legs and my feet. And it's an everyday struggle. And I always laugh because like people are like, oh, you're so brave for a big girl, and which I hate. I never really had a problem with being a big girl. I always, though, had a problem with my lymphedema. It made me super, super insecure, super self-conscious. Like, if you met me before 21, you probably never saw me in shorts or, like, in short dresses. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, basically, a lot of swelling, discomfort, but your fluids are not moving through your body like they're supposed to, and for my legs and feet, everything gets stuck at the bottom. Yeah, so I do a lot of elevation. I do wear compression socks. I'm a huge advocate for movement and being active, because for me with lymphedema, really like low impact exercise makes the world of difference. And also what you're eating, which I know you and I have that in common. Like I am very connected to what we put into our bodies really affects us, not just physically, but also mentally.
Yeah.
But for me, like dairy and gluten, they cause inflammation. It's like I'm already inflamed all the time in my life, so I try to do my part.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
it's a lot.
That's a lot to carry, and I think that what's really important that you shared with me is that like you are just a warrior, and you want to be an advocate for everyone to just like own who they are and step into the beauty that is being an individual. So, I'd love to know a little bit about your journey as like an advocate for this. Like, I love the whole campaign that you're working on. You are a masterpiece, and I'd really love to know, like, really getting deep into it, like what have been some of like the massive blocks that have like kept you from really like spreading your message?
That's such a good question. I think like one of the biggest blocks has been in the past myself. So it's like, again, it took me a long time, over half my life, to really figure out that I'm listening to this society tell me what I'm supposed to be, what I'm not supposed to be, if it's okay to love myself, and is there a weight limit to that? And I let that really get in my head for most of my life. And I think that I was so scared to love myself and accept myself and be vulnerable enough to share that with people, that honestly held me back more than I think anything. So I think like all of those reasonings is how I came up with Eat the Cake 2, because that saying, oh, you can't have your cake and eat it too. I just found as I started to get older, like all of these societal standards that we have, I started to be like, oh my gosh, that doesn't work for me. And I would explain something to somebody and they'd be like, like, oh, you're gonna wear that, or oh, you're into that. It's like, yeah, and that's okay. So I'm like, forget that. Like, I can have my cake and eat it too. Like, I am gonna be that big girl in the gym in a sports bra with my rolls and like jiggling all around, and I'm okay with that. And I am a huge advocate for saying that you can be fat and be healthy. So that's where Eat the Cake 2 came from, and it's a huge passion of mine, just to be like why do you feel the way you feel about your body? And if you start really dissecting it, it's like, because someone else told me I should. It's silly. You know what I mean?
Oh, totally. I know what you mean. And I like this statement that you said, like, you can be fat and be healthy, because I love watching your stories. First of all, my husband and I are obsessed with you because we just, like, you exude confidence. And like Richard's like, I just think she's so sexy. And I was like, ooh, talk to me, daddy. She really is. So, but like, there's this whole misconception, and I really wanted to like dive like deep into this concept of that, like, being fat is unhealthy. And like, in society, we deal with this, and I used to be 75 pounds bigger than I am, and like, this was just something that my parents told me growing up. They're like, you have to lose the weight, or you're gonna get diabetes, you're gonna die, you're gonna die of heart disease, all these kinds of things. And I still feel like I've been conditioned to think that way around people who are overweight or not societally accepted in the concept of what we need to look like or what we should look like. So I'd love, because I struggle, like, when I see someone who's overweight, like, I have an unconscious bias. Like, it hits me and I immediately judge them, even if it's unconsciously. And like, saying this is really hard for me because I'm like a self-love coach, and I really want people to love themselves unconditionally, and I want to show up that way for everyone. And it's definitely a work in progress, but like, what could you say to someone who kind of needs, like me, like, to restructure their mind around the things that society have told us that we need to believe?
Well, first of all, you're not alone. Like, I have that bias too sometimes when I see people. It's hard for me to be like, why don't you want to do X, Y, and Z, for your body? And just real quick before I go back into this whole thing, Tess Holliday said something that really resonated with me. She said, health is not a requirement for self-love. And I like that, because it's like, who am I to judge you? And who am I to tell you that you can't love your body because you're too fat? If you're not in the space right now where you want to change anything about your body, that's fine. Like, I still want you to get in front of the mirror every day and love yourself. So that really resonated with me. But I think, yes, going back to the misconception surrounding fat bodies, we are all trained to think that fat bodies are wrong and fat bodies are unhealthy and they're lazy and we don't do anything. It's just, we can't help it. It's conditioning of forever. But I think that I take it upon myself to be responsible to kind of redefine some of these stereotypes by being active and, eating something that makes my body feel good. I am, definitely a huge anti-diet culture. I think, you mentioned something about growing up and your parents, talking to you about your weight. It breeds a very unhealthy relationship with food from the beginning. And I was the same child. I was in Weight Watchers by the time I was in junior high. I still remember my dad telling me, Carmen doesn't need seconds, or Carmen is being lazy. It's like, because I was the fat sister. And he was very critical of my mother's weight and, when she would gain weight. And I don't think he loved me any less, but I think he also was conditioned to be afraid to have a fat child. But all that did was make my relationship with food very challenging. And it breeds that, this is good food, this is bad food, you shouldn't eat this. Like, to this day, I will still, like, sneak eat because I feel like that I have to get away with. Like 2 weeks ago, again, not easy to admit, I went downstairs after everyone I knew was upstairs and made myself a piece of sourdough toast, because I was like, that's a cheat, you know what I mean? All of these words, it's so dangerous. But it's like, I can't beat myself up over that because I've been conditioned to think like that.
So how do we like work through that conditioning? Like what if someone's listening to this, and I'm sure there's many people, like I'm sitting here being like, please, I need help. Like, how do you work through that conditioning to make yourself feel better about the choices that you're making?
Yeah. Well, for me, it's the same thing I do with my body image. It's like removing negative body talk, I remove negative food talk. So instead of saying, I can't have that, I'll just say, that's not going to make me feel good right now. That's not going to help my body. So, I'll maybe save that. Maybe on the weekend, if I feel like having it, I will. But I just have to think in terms of what makes my body feel good. And that's really helped me make better choices with what I'm eating, based on the fact that like I'm fueling my body to be its best. So for me, my legs play a big part in that. If I, eat processed foods and dairy and gluten all day, my legs are going to be so swollen that it's hard for me to walk down the stairs in the morning because of the pain. So I just kind of like change my way of thinking about food and change the way I speak about food. Like the whole cheat meals and, is that part of your diet? Or, I'm not eating this right now. It's like, stop saying all of that and just start thinking in terms of like, what's going to make me feel good?
Yeah.
Not make like, that's tricky, right? Because you could say that and it's like, well, sometimes a bowl of spaghetti makes me feel good because it's comforting. And it's like, well, what is it comforting? Is it comforting your self-doubt? Is it comforting, your stress, your anxiety?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think, like I said, we all have foods that we love to eat and they make you feel good in the moment. And I don't want anybody to get rid of those. I just want people to start looking at food as, is it nourishing my body? Is it making me feel good overall?
I like that a lot. I actually developed, part of my program is all about that feeling, I call it feel your food, because I really want people to dive deep in conceptually, like how food is actually making us feel.
Yes.
And like knowing that there's a why behind all of the decisions we make. And I really like that. That's what you do as well. It makes me feel like, okay, I might be onto something. So
yeah.
I really, really like that a lot.
It's just completely retraining. I think nobody should beat themselves up. Like, we are surrounded by diets every single day that are telling you to lose weight, that are telling you do this and do that. And it's like, just stop and figure out something that makes you feel good. I'm not gonna lie, last night I had 3 vodkas and I came home and I ate a hoagie roll with cheese.
I mean,
and today my head hurts and my hip hurts.
Well,
like,
this is how showing up and still being a part of this.
This is how my body tells me, like, those are things that, Carmen, like, they just don't really work for you anymore. And I appreciate that my body talks back to me and tells me. I don't feel bad that I did that, but my body feels a little bad today.
Yeah. Okay. So we've been talking a lot about food, and I think it's perfect time to just like play a little road trip game.
Yay.
Lighten the mood a little bit. I would love to play the alphabet game with you. Have you ever played the alphabet game before?
Probably when I was.
When you're on a road trip. Okay. So basically, how it goes is we're gonna start with the letter A, and then we're gonna say. I want to do it with food. So basically, you're going to start with A, and you're going to have to name a food product that starts with the letter A, and then I'm going to go B. So I'm going to do B, and then C, D, E, F, and we'll see how far we can get without, really panicking about it.
Okay.
I think this is going to be so much fun.
Well, I love food. So.
Same.
Right.
So I think this is just going to work out. So whenever you're ready, you start with A.
Okay, I'm going to go simple and say apple.
And I'm going to go banana.
And I'm gonna go cake because hello.
Hello. See, donuts.
Okay. Eggplant.
Farfalle.
Oh, okay. G. Oh my gosh. G.
Are we really?
Oh, green goddess dressing. Can I say that? Because it's my favorite from Trader Joe's.
So good. Then H, hummus.
Delicious. H, G. Are we on G?
No, you did G.
A, B, C, D, E, F.
I.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I would be iceberg lettuce, which I still like, even though it has no nutritional value.
I mean, it's a great place for your green goddess dressing to live.
Yes.
J. Jiffy.
Okay. K. I feel like I'm getting all the hard letters.
No, you're.
Oh, kale. Okay.
Lemons.
I want something good for M. So let's see here. Ooh, marmalade.
Ooh.
Deanna made me some homemade marmalade. It's delicious.
Noodles.
Onion rings.
Puffed quinoa.
Okay, that was a stretch, but I'll give it to you.
Come on.
Okay, what are we on?
Q.
Q.
I guess you could.
Q?
I know.
Jeez.
I'm gonna give you a pass.
Oh, quinoa.
Yeah, there we go. Okay.
Yeah.
Great, perfect. Q. Q. R. Raspberries.
Okay. I'm gonna take it back, all the way back, and say stroganoff.
Ooh. Truffles.
Okay, truffles. I feel like I don't know my alphabet. What's next?
U.
Okay. Let's see here. Uni.
Okay, T-U-V. V. What's V?
U-V.
V. Velveeta cheese.
Oh my gosh.
People are probably like screaming. They're like, we know.
Okay.
W.
W. Okay, W.
We're almost there. We almost made it. This is the furthest I've ever gotten with the alphabet.
W. I mean, I want to say water chestnuts for some reason.
I was gonna say waffles.
Oh, yum.
X. Oh, I don't know if they're like extreme Mountain Dew.
Oh my gosh.
That was a stretch, I know.
Also was a stretch. Okay, and now X, Y. I just feel like I want to think of something good, but I can't. So I'm gonna say, yogurt. Okay, good yogurt.
And Z, zoodles.
Yum.
We made it.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, I mean, I'm giving myself a little clap because I've never made it through the entire
Yes.
alphabet game. So
I'm the first.
You're the first. Okay, so we made it through the alphabet game. I really want to celebrate that, but I also just have, I really want to talk about something that you've been experiencing lately, which is Instagram has been censoring you.
Oh my gosh. First of all, my friend was like, Carmen, you're always so positive. You're like annoyingly positive. I'm like, thank you. He's like, the only time I've seen you like riled up was about your pictures getting taken down. I'm like, yes, because it really frustrates me. And the thing is that I'm like, it worries me because every time my picture gets taken down, I'm like, oh, they're gonna take down my page. You know what I mean? It freaks me out. But at the same time, I'm not doing anything different than people who are even the same size, smaller, whatever the case may be. So I redid Kim Kardashian's photo.
Yeah.
Mind you, it was like her photo was on top of my photo, and it got removed, but hers is still up on her page, and it's just like, I understand Instagram probably gets 1 million photos reported a day, so they can't go through every single one. But I think that it's so unfair that they're so quick to just take down content without actually reviewing it. And then the picture of me and my boyfriend kept getting removed. And I feel like that was just some hater, because even when I put it in my story, it got flagged and removed. So probably some man who was in my DMs, I never responded to you. If you're watching this, get over it.
She doesn't like you.
I don't like you. Like, I mean, so I was so mad that that picture kept getting reported. And for me, it could be so many different things. It could just be a jealousy thing. It could be, you know, people are offended by sexuality. People are offended by interracial relationships. Honestly, the list of how people are offended, we know, is endless. But it's very frustrating to me because I feel like my voice is so important for women specifically to see. I love sharing aspects of my relationship because I know when I was growing up, I didn't have somebody to look up to who was big and in a healthy, loving relationship, and let alone like with a man with a six-pack. Like, what? You told me when I was 15 I'd end up with somebody with a six-pack, I would have laughed. Because that's not what fat people do. You know what I mean?
Ooh, just triggered me.
I'm not saying you have to end up with someone with a six-pack, like you end up with whoever you love. Right. But I'm saying that we have to show people today that like healthy, loving relationships are available. You're worthy of them at any size. And I just want to share that. I want to share, like, my boyfriend loves all of me. He, you know, I told him, I said, grab my stomach rolls, grab my boobs, like, and because he does. And I'm like, I want, like, if your partner isn't grabbing your rolls, like, you know, their favorite thing, like, you're doing something wrong. I'm sorry, but I want you to be comfortable enough in your body and your partner to embrace your body, so much so that, like, there's nothing off limits. And I just want people to see that. I remember when I posted a picture of, I was, like, sitting on top of Kahari. Like, we were, you know, not naked. It's not porn here. And I said, you know, get on top. If he dies, he dies. And like women went crazy for that. And so many women were in my DMs asking for advice. Like, how do you feel comfortable doing that? And, you know, how did you get comfortable with your body in that position? And like, that's so powerful to me. You know what I mean? We just like, talking about sex or being with your partner, it doesn't have to be uncomfortable. And it doesn't have to be something that we're shunned for, or we should shy away from. Like, I want to have those open conversations with people because I think it's important that everybody understands that you should be in those situations feeling comfortable and loving yourself, because it's supposed to be a, you know, fun, enjoyable moment for you. And it's like we manage as a society even to rip away pleasure from people because they hate their bodies so much.
And that's really what it comes down to, is the people trying to censor you because they are feeling threatened by your confidence or whatever you have that they might not have. It has nothing to do with you. And it's really unfortunate to experience that you are, you know, being affected by people's insecurities. But I think it's a really, really important message to hear, and I love that you share that so openly, that you always take every opportunity to educate and inspire and empower not only people who align with you, but people who don't. And I think as a leader, which I truly see you as, like, it's really, really important to do that stuff. So I want to just like commend you and take you know, bow my hat to you, because it's really, really empowering to see, and I'm just so grateful to have you in my life and learning from you and working through all those things. So really, like, let's take it back. Like, if someone's listening to this who is like at that point where they're really just like ready to just step fully into loving their body, like, what are some steps that you can, like, that they can actually do, you know, like, not this whole, like, that might feel a little bit more immediate, not like that retraining their brain to love themselves. Like, what are some things that are immediate that you could offer?
So this is my number one asked question. So I do have a little YouTube video on my linked in my bio, if you want to check it out. But I have 5 steps that I say that I do, you know, every day that help me. And maybe just pick one to start with. You know what I mean? Like, let's not go crazy. I understand that it can be intimidating for people. I think, so my two big ones, and I know that they can be hard. Number one is to really try to eliminate negative body talk, which is it is a retraining process. But again, baby steps, instead of saying, like, oh, I don't look good in this, or I don't like the way my stomach looks in this. Like, really try to limit those sayings, because there's a quote, what is it? Like, our bodies hear what, I don't know, our bodies hear what our brains tell it, or something. Yeah. So it's like, if you start telling your body good things, like, imagine how you'll start to feel. And it is a process. I've been doing, really practicing these for probably 3 years now. But I think it's important, and I think it's important for parents, if you have young kids, to be very, very mindful about how you're talking about your body. And my friends and I talk about this a lot. Like, if you're looking in the mirror and saying, oh my gosh, my stomach's so fat, and your 9-year-old daughter is standing next to you, what do you think she's hearing? You know what I mean? Yeah. So I really try to limit that, instead of criticizing my body all the time, either shutting out those thoughts or replacing them with something positive. And that leads me to number 2, which is, this is true. Every single day, I get in front of the mirror naked, out of the shower, whatever, and I say something nice about my body. Even on the days where I feel, I know maybe I've gained some weight, I ate a hoagie with cheese and had 3 vodkas and I don't feel great. Like, I still will say something good about my body.
So what did you say to your body today after all of that nonsense you did yesterday?
I still said, I'm like, gosh, your body looks really good. That's what I said, because it does. I've been working really hard just to get back on track with feeling my best, and that is in direct relationship to how I treat my body. So today I looked in the mirror and I'm like, you look good. Just like do that. And I love, like, there's a part of my stomach that's like my favorite, so I always look at that and smile and think it's cute. But like, start small, you know what I mean? Yeah. Maybe it's like, oh, I love the way my eyes look. Oh, I love my birthmark, or like, I love this dimple on my butt. Like, I love all the dimples on my butt. First of all, dimples on your butt are super cute. Okay? The most. So those are my 2 top. And maybe just try one, and maybe it's something really small, but I promise you start thinking about your body in a better light, and telling it good things, it's gonna start to feel better to you. And I really believe that.
I believe that too. I like that a lot. So what do you do when, because I feel in this day and age, everyone wants to put everyone else in a box. Like, we have to fit into a box.
Oh, yeah.
So when people look at you, they're like, oh, Carmen, she's a body positivity person, but what? She's going to the gym. She wants to be healthy.
Oh my gosh.
How do you handle that?
Yeah, it's really tricky, because, the body positive community, as you know, was created for marginalized bodies, and bodies that aren't widely accepted. The queer community, people of color, differently abled bodies, and fat bodies. So people have taken this body positivity and ran with it. Now you have weightlifters and bodybuilders hashtagging body positivity, and it's really frustrating to me. I want everyone to love their body, but self-love and the body positive movement are not the same thing. So just to clear that up. For me, yes, I have definitely come under fire, even from people in the body positive community, saying that I'm, advocating for weight loss, or I'm advocating for X, Y, and Z, which I'm not advocating for anything except for to just be the best you can for yourself and for your body. I also think that because I have a more quote unquote privileged body type with, more of the hourglass figure, that I come under some scrutiny for that as well, which is frustrating to me. So I just do me, and I view the body positive community kind of like I view the feminist community, is like, if you're not here for everybody who wants to represent you and wants to feel included, then, that's okay. Like, you don't want me in your group, I'm okay with that. I'm gonna still keep doing me, and that's all that I can do. So yeah, it's can be frustrating because I do feel I feel judged within my own community sometimes, which is never a good feeling. But I also live on Instagram, so I feel I get judged every single moment of my life.
I mean, props to you for continuing on and just like giving yourself permission to just be you, and I think that's really, really important. So I'd love to hop into another road trip game, and this is a game that I play with every single person. Okay. And I've been like, people have been like, well, why do you play this game on self-love? And I think that like it illuminates that self-love isn't always black and white, that self-love can be like hard at times. So we're gonna play the classic game of fuck, marry, kill.
Okay.
But we are going to, but we're gonna do it with inanimate objects. And I think because we've been talking a lot about social media, I think it would be fun to play this with social media platforms.
Okay.
So we're gonna play Fuck, Marry, Kill with Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook.
Oh, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Okay. Well, I would marry Instagram for sure because it's like, hello, my partner right now. Like, she's been really good to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She's kind of ride or die. Okay. I'm gonna have to kill Facebook because I'm sorry, but like,
bye.
No. Okay. And so I would fuck YouTube because like I really need to get more into YouTube, so I'm gonna use it as like my experimental fuck.
Yeah, like the side piece that comes
exactly.
in. Because like the cool thing about YouTube is like you don't have to rely on anyone else to really get paid, like you don't have to get a brand sponsorship or anything.
Yeah.
Like you could literally like just go onto YouTube and monetize and just like have a fun like sugar daddy.
Yeah, so I need to get myself a sugar daddy.
I mean, I'm ready for that sugar daddy too. So I love my husband, and he finally bought me a pair of shoes 5 years later because it's all I ever wanted. But now it's like Papa needs to buy himself some more shoes.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, as we move into 2019, like, what do you see as like your biggest goal for 2019? Like, it could really be anything. Like, what do you kind of like base your days on? Like, what are you fighting for? Yeah,
right now I'm really fighting for me. I'm fighting for the fact that I'm claiming 2019 as the year that I'm like standing up for my worth. So that's been really big for me. I feel like I love the community that I built, and I love giving back and giving my all into it.
Yeah.
But I'm claiming this year as it needs to start giving back to me. Meaning, I want this to be my life. I want this to be my brand. And I want it to be, my security and my financial security as well. So I'm really claiming that this year and moving into working with brands who are, who know my worth and are willing to build relationships based on what I deserve. And also just pushing myself to like make this something that is gonna support me and my family.
I love that so much. I mean, I don't know about anyone who's listening, but I would totally like join some sort of like membership community that's like like where you just like show up and you're just like, okay, ladies, okay, gentlemen, we're gonna love ourselves today, and this is what you're doing. Like, I would be all for that.
Okay.
So I mean, I would sign up.
Okay.
So if you need support creating a
I do
thing,
need support, Paul.
I'm picking up what you're putting down, and we'll launch something.
Okay.
I'm excited about that.
Yes.
So where can everyone find you? Wait, before I ask you that,
Yeah.
I forgot. I have a question for that. What does self-love mean to you?
Such a good question. Self-love for me means loving myself every day regardless of anything that is going on in my life and with my body. So I always say, like, for me, self-love is loving yourself every day. Even if you have goals, you know, you just have to love yourself every day of your journey. We're all in this journey together. There is no goal. When you reach it, that's when you can love yourself. No. Self-love is loving yourself today just as how you are.
Amen. We don't need to bargain our way into love.
No.
It is here for us every single day. I love that. So tell everyone, where can they find you? How can they just like get all of the Carmen in their daily feed and not run into cars, because I got real excited about everyone following you on Instagram.
Yes, I'm pretty much everywhere at Eat the Cake 2, TOO, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. My YouTube is Eat the Cake 2 with Carmen Rene. I am trying to do more with YouTube, okay, but I do have some good videos up right now. And my body positive speech from the Slut Walk is there, which I loved.
Amazing.
So yeah, find me, DM me. I am like really pretty good about getting back to DMs even when they're super overwhelming. So if you have a question, DM me, leave me a comment. I would love to hear from everybody.
Amazing. Well, Carmen, thank you so much for joining us on the road to self-love. I feel like we're a little bit closer to our destination of ultimate self-love. So thank you.
Thank you.
If you are watching on YouTube, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Make sure to head on over to Carmen's stuff. I'm going to leave everything in the description box. And if you're listening to this on iTunes or wherever you consume podcasts, please make sure to like, comment, rate, share away. It means the most to us, and it will help get this message out, because this is a message that regardless of whether or not you are big, little, round, square, whatever size, shape, wherever you lie on that body spectrum, you need to hear this. So thank you so much for being here. We will see you next time on the road to self-love. Bye.